morning, friends. Dash here again. Hey, it's been a long time, probably almost 3 months since I've posted a video, but a couple of reasons for that. The first one is there really hasn't been much snow. What you see here is all we've gotten. There is no snow whatsoever. It's the end of February. Typically in North Dakota we have maybe a few feet by now. But this winter there really hasn't been much action. The last couple of weeks have been super cold, but this week it's actually getting pretty warm and a lot of the snow is melting, so I thought it'd be a good time to showcase you a few things. Last week it was literally like 40 below, and for some of you down south, yeah, it actually does get this cold up here. So I thought it'd be good to tune back in again. I don't want to produce a bunch of content that's not worthy to you. I just don't want to produce videos to, just because. I hope that these are a little bit informative and that you can see some of the things that are going on. But in the meantime, I also did purchase some audio equipment, so this is the first test. I hope it comes through very clear. I also got one of those kind of a poofy sound, wind dampening things for the top of the camera also. So I know in the previous videos I had some wind noise, so try to increase the quality of the content here. But anyway, I wanted to show you some of the stuff that I have. I had a lot of viewers ask about some of the equipment that I use, primarily to run my little side business, but I wanted to showcase a lot of the tools that I use and hope that you can get some good knowledge from them. You see what I use. I'll talk about maybe the cost of them. Now it varies based on where you live. Based on what brand you buy and so forth, and obviously the size of it makes a difference too. But for some of you that are new to the channel, I have a 1025R and I use it as a little side gig and have some fun with it. I don't do it to get rich or nothing. I do it to have some fun, and hopefully it helps pay for some of the toys that I buy to attach to it. So hope you can learn a little bit from this. So the first thing that I got, you may not be able to see it very well because there's a shadow right here. I apologize, the sun is probably in the wrong position, but right up here is my grapple. I have a AV20F grapple. It's a 2020 model. I love it. It's probably my favorite attachment. It totally transforms what the tractor is able to do. The bucket is good. You can use the chain on a bucket and stuff, but it's nothing compared to the versatility of a grapple. This one is made by Frontier, which is kind of the brand that John Deere partners with. And so the nice thing about that is when you order Frontier products from John Deere, you can have it shipped to your local dealer. There is no shipping cost, but you do have to go pick it up there. They will test it for you. They will make sure that it operates correctly. So that is kind of the advantage. However, if you don't have a pickup truck, you may have to borrow a friend's pickup or a trailer or something like that to haul it back. If it doesn't fit, in your SUV or your car. But I love it. It's awesome. The cost was about, I think it was like $1,800, and this was over a year ago. And so now that the pandemic hit, the price of steel has, in some places, doubled, and I know some places it has even tripled. And so hopefully that price goes down. But right now I think the cost of production for a lot of these heavy steel attachments and trailers and so forth, the cost is going up last year and maybe even so this year as well. Here I got a box blade. This is a 5-foot King Cutter professional series box blade. I love it. I get a lot of questions about the width. It's not the XB series, which is kind of the subcompact series. This is one step up. It's built very heavy. It's built very well. It's 5 feet wide. The XB series I think is 4 feet. I like it because it's a little bit wider than the tractor, and so when you get up close to fences, you have about at least 6 inches on each side, so that your tires aren't right up to it. I also like that. I think it's a little bit taller than the XB series. It's a little taller back here, and so that's advantageous because you can put more material in it. The disadvantage to something this large is that it's heavier, and so it's a little bit more work for your 3-point hitch to lift it up, especially if it's full of material. And if I get it full of, you know, like gravel and loose dirt and kind of a sand and gravel mix, it won't lift it up. So you got to back up just a hair and then lift it up and it'll be fine. But for the most part, this works great. I wouldn't trade it for a smaller one. If you would ask that question, I would not do that. That's just my personal opinion though. Right here, I have a, this is an XB series, and you can kind of tell the XB series from King Cutter is orange, while the other implements that are not XB for subcompact tractors, more so for maybe compact or larger tractors, are primarily yellow. So that's kind of how you can tell the difference. If you see it in orange, that's for XB, which is for the subcompact series. This right here is a 5-foot landscape rake. I love it. It works good. However, it is not quick hitch compatible, unlike this, which is quick hitch compatible. I think one of the things that I'm going to do in the future is try to modify this. I wanted to originally go with the yellow color because it is quick hitch compatible. At the time when I needed one of these, there wasn't one available, and this is all they had, so that's what I grabbed. I think the cost of this was about $400, right around $400. I got it from a local kind of a farm store. So check with your local farm stores. A lot of them will carry King Cutter or other similar brands. Behind me here is the King Cutter XB 48-inch tiller from King Cutter. You can't really see it because it's back here, but what I like about it is that I've never had it fail. I've beat it up pretty good. These things can take quite a bit of abuse. I've hit rocks, I've hit roots. This thing can stand a lot of abuse. It is gear driven versus chain driven. I'm a gear driven guy. They're pretty tried and true. The chain driven ones seem to come loose after a while, and I've heard of some issues with it. So if you ask me, go gear driven versus chain, but it's really up to your preference. The only bad thing about this is also not quick hitch compatible, but you can make it quick hitch compatible with longer pins. I didn't do a video on that, but hey, if you check out Tractor Time with Tim, one of his old videos has got pin extensions, and you can find them on Amazon. They're just longer. And then what you do is you get a bushing set and you put it on its the longest setting on that bushing, and you'll be just fine. It'll work. The only problem with that though is it acts as more leverage, and so every year what I have to do is basically replace the pins because they will break. You'll see that after a full season's use that the pin will start to bend a little bit, and so it's a good idea just to replace them every year. Because what you don't want to happen is out in the field working on someone else's property or your property and the thing breaks and it just becomes a hassle, especially on a hot day. But I love it. It's a really great product. It's one of the first attachments that I bought, and it's amazing. I use it way more than just garden tilling. Land leveling, breaking up loose soil or breaking up hard soil, make it loose so I can scoop it. There's so many reasons to buy a tiller than just gardening. Another one of my favorite attachments is the Rotary Cutter. This is a 4-foot, 48-inch Rotary Cutter from King Cutter. As you can tell, I'm a King Cutter fan. I've always liked their products. Their customer services has been really good. And I went with the 48-inch. It's not that wide. I mean, your belly mower for the tractor is, for me, it's 60 inches wide, so 5 feet versus 4, but they say the 48 inches is good, is the amount of, the right amount of width for a 1025R, for a 25 horsepower tractor. So if you don't have a 1025, but another 25 horsepower equivalent, the 48 inch is the appropriate size. You can run larger, but it might be a little underpowered. But again, it depends on what you're cutting. If you're just cutting grass or tall weeds, yeah, you can run it wider and you're not going to have an issue. You may have to take a narrower swath if you're doing something thicker. So It just depends on what fits your needs. But the 48-inch is not going to cover a lot of ground, but I use it between trees and in tight spaces, and I take down some, pretty heavy stuff with it. And so it works good for my needs. This is the professional series. This one has that domed deck, which I don't really think makes too big of a difference, but it says it's supposed to dissipate water instead of have it sitting on top. I still got some rust on it anyway. I don't know that it's a big deal, but the other thing, this professional series has a flex hitch, which I really like. It helps contour to the ground versus a non-flex hitch. I really like that feature. I thought it was just kind of, hoopla, but when I actually saw it in action, I really appreciated the even cut. A couple other things that I have up here are an estate rake, a very small estate rake for raking up grass or weeds. It's over here. It's not really put together to show you, but that's really helpful for if I got tall grass. I have a large lawn, and sometimes I don't get to cutting it, and so when it gets tall, I'll rake it up, rake it in rows, and then I'll scoop it up with a bucket and take it out to landfill or whatever. The other thing I have is a thatching rake. I don't use it very often. I'd probably use something different than one of these mechanical thatching rakes. That's just my personal preference. But when I do need it, it works just fine. The other thing I have right here is the Pallet Fork. These are Titan Pallet Forks. About $500 off of Amazon. I bought these a couple years ago. It usually sits right in this area, but I don't have it up there right now. But really great frame that's heavy. It's heavy built. What I like about this frame is it also has a receiver hitch in it. If you've seen some of my older videos, I made a Stunt Bucket, and it fits right inside this receiver hitch, and so I really like it. It's built very heavy. I don't ever get the feeling that it's going to bend on me or nothing. However, this does reduce the lifting capacity because it is heavy, but it's also very strong. So hey, I want to show you two other things, attachments that I have. This one right here is a Farm King 60-inch rear mount snowblower. I love it. I'm super bummed that I didn't get a chance to really use it this summer, or this winter, excuse me. I bought it in the summer. Last summer I bought it used for $1,500 from a local guy here. I didn't buy it from a dealer or anything like that. There was a guy that had one, upgraded to a larger tractor and wanted a larger snowblower, so he sold me his. It's used. I only got a chance to use it for about 2 minutes this whole winter season. I made a pile of snow out of the 2 inches that we received one time, and then I just blew it away just for fun, just to test it out. It worked great, but it just not enough snow here this season. So, but it does work excellent. Don't really have any issues with it so far. The only thing that I could say about it is that this handle right here to crank it, if you have a 1025R that does not have the backhoe, with the backhoe they mount the toolbox on the side, but if you get it without the backhoe, it's mounted on the back. And so with this, it actually, when you raise up the 3-point hitch, this will kind of come in contact with the box. So I had to remove it. I'm thinking about mounting it elsewhere, but for now I just removed it. So that's the only downfall to this snowblower setup with the 1025R in particular. The other thing I'd like to show you is this Redline Systems Industries bucket. I've gotten a lot of questions on this this winter for a lot of the guys out there watching snow removal videos. This is made by Redline Systems Industries, located in Hutchinson, Minnesota. Check out their website. I think it's Redline Systems Inc. I'll try to find that here for you. But anyway, great guy, very small company. He makes products for John Deere, Kubota, the skid steer attachments, and also some payloader attachments as well. This is powder coated green also. So this is the correct John Deere green. It's not some other off color, which I really appreciate because I noticed that about my Pallet Forks. They're the wrong color. Anyway, this is a light materials bucket. 60 inches wide. The standard 53-inch bucket that comes on the John Deere will actually fit inside of this one. This is about a ½ yard volume. I really like it for using for light materials, for moving around dirt. The standard 53-inch bucket on the 1025R is a decent sized bucket, but man, when you're using it for light materials, you just want something bigger sometimes, and so that's why I purchased the larger one. I've gotten mixed reviews saying, yeah, why would you do that and so forth, but hey, for me it works out really good. So if you want to get a larger snow bucket, Redline Systems Industries in Hutchinson, Minnesota is what I might recommend for you. Hey, I hope this was somewhat helpful for you guys that are looking for attachments. This is my setup. This is what I got. It works well for me, but again, you might have something different, but this is a little bit of insight people have been asking. So hey, if you have any other ideas on videos that you want to see, let me know. I've got a few other ones, especially related to the business portion of my little side gig here. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some insurance. I'll go over exactly what I pay for inland marine and commercial liability for all of my equipment, my trailers, and even my vehicle. That's something that you could probably look forward to here in the near future. I have had some questions on pricing. I don't know which corner it is, but I'll put a ribbon up there. I did do a pricing video on my dump trailer. I talked about volume and how much I set my price as for each time I take a load to the landfill. Check it out. It might be a little bit boring for you because it is an Excel video, but if you want to check it out and learn from that, please do, and we'll talk a little bit about pricing in that video. But hey, stay tuned. I want to talk to you about this trailer mover that I made. I made this myself. I painted it myself. It's actual John Deere green. I thought about buying one off of the internet, but if you get some from certain brands, that they're really expensive, and they're actually quite easy to make if you have a welder. You don't even need a gas welder. It can just be the flux core. I have those tools, so I like to make some of my own implements. This cost me about $35 altogether, but you can buy them off of the internet for about $135. So you can save a little bit of money, take a little pride in your work, and do it yourself. But we may talk about this in my next video. Stay tuned. I also built another Stunt Bucket. Looking to test that out a little bit more here in the near future. But it's one of the kind that fits into the receiver hitch of a Pallet Fork frame. So, hey, if you got questions about any of that, stay tuned. We'll try to cover some of that in our next videos. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope this is helpful, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good day.